you got all these cop friends, and it's just like, all right, I started off at like 5 miles an hour over, now 10 miles an hour over, and now I'm like, oh, man, I ain't gonna do shit. I'm gonna go 15, and the next thing you know, you're pulled over and your name dropping.
No,
I when I get pulled over, like I'm not.
Dude, I'm a grown ass adult knowing I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm still scared to death.
Oh, me too.
Like I'm like, oh fuck, I'm going to jail.
Over.
I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail.
You see a cop driving, you look right down at your speedometer. You're like,
I look at my speedometer,
yeah.
And then as I pass, I immediately look in my rearview mirror, and I'm like, fuck, are they turning on me? Are they turning? Oh, I'm good. Okay.
I kind of hope that I get pulled over in the Land Cruiser and then be like, what were you going? I'm going to be like, well, 80 kilometers an hour. What is that? Is that too much?
My thing says 80 miles an hour.
No, it's not miles, bro. No. I mean, if you could tell me, that would be great. Cause I thought I was going with everyone else.
Yeah.
What are you going to say?
I'm just going with the flow of the traffic. Senor officer. Senor officer.
What is,
fucking Tim, fucking everything up. Oh, hello everyone. This is Chad Butler
to another episode of the Funky Panther, coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. We've got another great episode for you tonight on episode 16. Yeah, man,
fucking
we are
16.
moving along. I feel like we had like the first 10 and it took us forever.
Yeah, I did.
And then we've got like 6 back to back.
The people wanted it.
The people asked for it.
They asked for more consistency, and look, motherfuckers, you're all getting it now.
And now they're like, you know what? Go back to one a month because this is a little much.
You wanted the pipe. Now you're getting the pipe.
All right. I'm Chad.
I'm Javier.
And I'm Tim.
And we are
the Funky Panther!
Woo! How's everybody doing today?
Oh, fan-fucking-tastic.
I don't believe you because your voice does not sound like...
No, I'm actually doing really good. I'm happy. I came off of a 4-day...
I came too.
I came off of a 4-day vacation, like staycation
We're
weekend.
Even 5 minutes in.
I know. Godly. But no, 4 days. I took a long weekend. It was great, man. I just needed that time to decompress, not do shit, and I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything?
I absolutely did not do anything. I watched movies.
I do have to ask, why didn't you tell us?
Oh man, so I forgot that I even took the time off.
Oh yeah, really?
No, sure.
I legit did. So the original plan was we were going to try to go down to like Port Aransas or Corpus, someplace down the coast. Yeah. And we booked it. I took this time off maybe 3-ish months ago and honestly forgot and didn't book anything. And with COVID going on, I was just like, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to try to prematurely book something and then end up getting shafted.
Prematurely shafted.
I'm prematurely shafted.
So it kind of, work got in the way. We got busy at work and I just kind of forgot about it. And next thing I know, I was like, oh, I've got a few days and here it is. I got vacation time. So what are we going to do? And it was actually nice. I stayed at home. I didn't do shit. We watched a bunch of movies. I played some video games. I mean, I caught up on some things that I needed to do around the house, but it was just nice, not having to worry about anything.
Any good movies that you want to talk about?
Nothing in particular. I mean, okay. So
sounds like a waste of time.
No. So okay, we watched Shazam.
Waste of time.
Wait, the one with
Shaq?
No, that's Kazam.
Okay.
Did we already have this conversation?
Let me ask you: do y'all remember there being a movie,
James the Giant Peach? Yes.
that had Sinbad the Entertainer that was like a genie or something?
Yeah, Aladdin.
No.
No?
So
That didn't exist.
Okay, so the Mandela effect. Have you heard about that?
First Kid. That's the movie. First Kid.
But
Sinbad. He was a genie
Was he
protecting the president's son.
But have y'all heard? Y'all have heard of the Mandela effect, right? Where Nelson Mandela died sometime in the 80s in a prison cell because that's what we all thought, and actually didn't happen.
I didn't think that.
Bernstein Bears versus the Bernstein. There's apparently one that's going around where I guess they're getting confused Kazam and thinking that Sinbad was actually in Kazam when he wasn't, and Shaq was in Kazam.
I'm still confused with this Kazam thing.
Yeah, but Shazam
I can help with this whole Shazam situation.
Shazam,
God damn it!
movie.
Calling back. It's a callback if you don't know to a previous episode.
But yeah, I watched that. Kill the Irishman. Great fucking movie. Christopher Walken came out in 2011.
I feel like, Javier, don't you do a good Christopher Walken?
No, I don't. Not whenever I'm called upon to do it.
Oh, that's
it's he just has to do it whenever no one's paying attention to him.
This watch in my ass.
Okay, you're right. It's not very good.
But yeah, no, it was great though because with work and everything, work is kind of stressful. I'm busy. Ambulance life is not the most like fun thing to do all the time. And so it was just nice to decompress, not have to worry about going anywhere, not having to worry about traveling, do whatever the fuck I wanted to do at home. And that's literally what I did. I mean, I got some little projects that I was having to do around the house, but like really, I just didn't have to worry about anything, which was great. And I've always had this thought process when it comes to traveling. I do two types of traveling. Vacations.
Time traveling?
And time traveling.
Yeah, and time traveling. No, but like trips and vacations. So like for me, trips are going and seeing places and doing a bunch of stuff and just checking everything out.
Yeah.
Which, Chad, I know you love doing that. You usually have some sort of itinerary set up and you're go.
Don't itinerary shame me.
I'm not. No. It's great. It's awesome because it works out whenever we take a trip. You have everything.
Nerd, bitch ass travel nerd. Oh, look at me. Hey, I'm going to go off this itinerary. Look at me.
But you literally have everything planned down to a T and it's great, which I hate that it all falls down on you, but you do a really good job at it.
Actually, yeah, you do. Down to a T, or versus me, I go down to a TIT.
Wait, so whenever y'all went to Europe,
we get it. We can spell. Thank you.
When y'all went to Europe, did you even have like bathroom breaks planned? Like I feel like you had shit breaks planned. Like I feel like I heard somebody say
they
that.
were calculated in the time frame. Yeah.
So my other thing is vacations where I don't do shit, and like I might go. Either on a cruise where like on the cruise days where you're on the boat, like we're not doing anything. And that's a vacation to me. And then it's kind of like a vacation and a trip combined. But then like just going down to the beach, going to an all-inclusive place where I'm not having to do anything. I just can lay around on the beach, have someone feed me, alcohol and food. And I'm very content with that.
What's Jesse think about that?
Jesse, thinks about what?
Having to feed you alcohol and grapes or something.
She feeds me very well at home. She does a really good job at that. But when we're on vacation together,
she's listening now, so he's going to say all the good things.
No. We have.
I love you, baby. Oh yeah, that's another conversation.
We have every.
Thanks for reminding me, Chad.
No problem.
We have everybody we have them cater to us, and it's nice, man. It's just nice to just relax and not have to worry about it.
Have you ever taken a staycation, Javier?
Dude, whenever I think the longest time I had off was for Chase's bachelor party here in the past 2 years.
You're kind of a workaholic.
3 years. Yeah, I do work a lot.
Hey, you hustle for that money.
And I don't know about that, but I mean, I try, and that's how my relationships never work because I work too much. Why did you win? No, I'm just kidding. It's
always at the perfect or worst time.
No, I do. The bachelor party was like the longest break I've taken.
That was only 4 days.
Yeah.
He literally took that this weekend and did nothing.
Yeah.
But even like
does that not piss you off? He wasted an entire 4-day weekend.
But see, the deal
is it was his though.
The deal is I can take off because the way my shift is, I work 4 days a week. And if I take off a Friday and a Monday, I have the weekend off naturally. So it's not like I'm taking a bunch of time off from work. Now, I do plan on taking, an extended vacation time to go to Egypt and see Zeus since they're living there. That's depending on COVID and everything and how things kind of play out. But that's tentatively the plan. I'm not going to take any like major trips or anything until we actually do that. So
actually, looking back, I took like a 4-day trip to Terlingua, I think, in Big Bend.
That was last summer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing acid and shrooms? Holy shit.
Are we back on Parks and Drugs?
No, that was not my experience. I just want to go ahead and say that.
He didn't do any of that. He's like, I was
not with you.
I fellaced
a whole nother
everything.
trip. No
fellation?
Nope.
Other than Disney. I did Disney with Anthony and Natasha and them.
Okay,
that was great.
Disney World or Land.
That's where Micah and Jenna are right now.
Yeah, I told Jenna. Jenna took a picture of Disney Springs, and I was like, "Oh fuck, I'm jealous." I wrote her. I'm like, "Send me all of the pictures." Going over there, I didn't realize how much fun I thought I'd had, and I listened. Today I was listening back to like the first and third episode of the podcast.
Yeah,
and Chase had gone to California and went to Disney, and he said how much he loved it and blah blah blah. It was before I went, and
I didn't care much for Disneyland. Like
Disney World, I went to Disney World.
After going to Disney World, I went to Disneyland as a kid, probably like 14, 15 years old, and then comparing like Disney World to that is like, dude.
So, quick question: did Corey and Topanga go to Disneyland or Disney World? I think it was Disney World, right?
Man, I don't I honestly
I
don't
episode
remember.
of Boy Meets World where Corey went over there to like profess his love to Topanga.
Because they were doing like a study work thing or whatever.
No, study abroad.
Study abroad
at
in
Disney.
Well, Disney World. It's Disney World
That's what
for
Micah
a reason,
did.
right?
He was
He
went to
he
like,
interned over there.
yeah, but it was like a school work thing. I think.
He interned over there.
No, like a school work thing. Isn't that the same thing?
He interned. Chadley, Chadbert. He interned.
Chatterson.
Chad. You know, I'm gonna go to Chad. Chad. He interned. This is so stupid.
Yeah. Well, you do this.
So they went to Disney World.
Disney's great. I fucking love Disney.
Yeah. So Boy Meets World. It's actually the happiest show on earth, is what the episode's called. They went to Disney World.
Fucking A. Corey and Topanga forever.
Thank goodness for Google.
Dude, Topanga, like, she's a diehard Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Danielle Official.
Really?
Yeah, she is. And
She shouted you out on
a couple times.
Yeah,
couple
tweeted
times.
you back or whatever.
Yeah. And Segurio met her like at the fan expo thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was really cool. And dude, she's.
Would you say that she was a big childhood crush?
Dude, she was like the first.
The crush.
She was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first time I
crush.
ever like.
Nope.
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 We're 12 minutes in and we don't need to
look
start
at
that.
us like that. Like, can I say it? No.
wanna
No,
say
you
this.
can't.
I really want to say it.
Bad, Javier.
I think mine had to be.
Winnie Cooper from Wonder Years.
She was up there,
Oh, she's really hot too.
but oh man, now I can't think of it.
Barney the dinosaur.
Yes. What was the show with Bob Saget?
Boy Meets World. Full House.
Full House.
Ew, really? There were kids.
DJ
Tanner.
She was the oldest one, and we were like the same age whenever I was watching that.
You had a crush on her? I was more of a
Yeah,
Stephanie.
man.
I was more of a Stephanie type of guy.
Yeah, so back to travel. That's weird. We're talking about vacation
Lord,
and
yeah.
travel.
That was a really
was,
weird tangent.
Yeah, it was. So you've been on just a couple of trips, right?
Yeah, that's
but not
me.
really.
No, I've been trying to. I know after all this is said and done, I want to take a lot of solo trips because I know with work, I just need a breather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely.
I need time.
It's healthy.
It is. And like with work, I mean, my dad clash heads like a lot. It's only me and him that get into arguments. My brother every now and then, but it's more like me and him.
Right.
And so he's in Colorado right now, and I would rather be over there because like the weed and the fresh mountain air, and I love waking up like at 5 a.m. because like the sun starts creeping up.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
But like right now, it's just you in the shop, and
Me in
then
the
you
shop.
have
Just me by myself.
it's just you. You
It's
don't have
just
like
me.
the secretary or whatever.
No, I'm the
front lady.
secretary.
You are really.
I do everything.
So it's
Yeah.
easy to burgle you? Is that what you're saying?
I have a gun.
Just you.
I have a gun and like some razor blades. I don't know. You cannot rob me.
The unrobbable.
My shoes are not there.
Well, I don't think that I could ever take a staycation. I don't think that I could sit back and I mean, to you, it's not wasted. I'm glad that you're able to take
Yeah.
some time and really relax. To me, I feel like that would be wasted time. I'm lucky to work for a company that I get like 5 weeks of vacation a
Right.
year.
Oh my god.
But I can't use a single one of those days
To just sit at home.
sit and do nothing. I
Really?
mean, like I've got every weekend that if I need to do that, I've got a Saturday or Sunday, which even then is too much. Like sometimes Tab just is like, all right, we're going to sit on our asses and do nothing today. And it is great for a day.
Is that why your Instagram is literally Go Chad Go? Is because you can't stop going?
I eat, I drink, I go, and I
Yeah.
sometimes sleep.
You know, and it's funny, like, I feel like you're not necessarily going, but like your mom's kind of the same way where she's just like constantly having to do something, like wants to
yeah.
stay busy. You know, we just had your birthday.
Oh,
you know, that we
yeah,
just had that, went over to the house. They did some remodeling. It looked great. But like your mom has always been the same way, just constantly like wanting to do stuff, you know,
Gotta
wanting
stay
to,
busy.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it's not, I mean, travel just happens to be my thing, but
Right.
you know, I
Travel and go.
I also like just different hobbies, like going biking or going hunting, fishing, being outside. I just love that. And luckily, you know, with COVID and stuff, that's one of the things you still can do is go outside.
Sleeping is my hobby.
You can still do that with COVID too.
Dude, put me in a dark room with the window unit going, making some noise and getting it really cold, and I'll just wrap up in my blanket and I'm like a bear. I just hibernate.
This is just so sad.
Like one day,
No,
like
it's so good. It's my happy place.
like if I have one day a week off, like if I have like a Sunday, I will gladly like sit on the couch, watch Dragon Ball Z, like all day and just like eat Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you ate all the Buc-ee's.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we're still bitter from that, you know?
Yeah, there was quite a bit of stuff left.
You know what's bitter? Your attitude.
Oh,
Terrible.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I got to, do nothing for 4 days straight.
You fucking.
So what are some things that we can still do? Like just thinking about Fort Worth, that's kind of what we like to talk about. Thinking about Fort Worth area, what are some things that we could still do in a time like this?
Like you brought up, because you and Tab did a date on the river,
Oh yeah,
kayaking, canoeing, whatever.
yeah.
we already talked about
We
that.
did talk about that. So
fantastic though.
You've got that. We have. So a lot of people don't know this. If you're a Fort Worth local, you might not even know this either. But we have actually world-renowned museums. Museums, like plural.
I think it's museums.
Museums.
They're actually open, right now. The Kimball Art Museum, the Fort Worth Modern.
Dude, the Modern is one of the best museums for modern art in the entire world.
Dude, we've seen Kaz there.
Murakami.
Yeah, Takashi Murakami.
What is that? The one guy that does all like the lifelike wax figures. Oh, man.
I don't remember his name, but man, those were insane. They're like very lifelike, but they're either super small or super big. And you're just like, I can't believe that someone put this much time and detail into this kind of sculpture. But yeah, that was cool. But even like that's people coming in and having like an exhibit, even just the normal art that is always at the Modern, you can go back, all the time and see the same thing. And it's still kind of incredible. Some of the art that we've got here just in Fort Worth.
Props to the curators over there. They go overseas. They go to the museums in Europe and try to get what was that?
Curate?
Curate. They curate stuff to bring over. They procure art to bring here to Fort Worth. And actually, a lot of times they buy it too. Like they'll buy pieces and keep
what a
them here.
badass job that's got to be.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got to go over to Europe and look at a couple things and see if they're right for a museum.
Got to go to the Louvre. They got this statue where this baby's choking a duck.
Ron Mueck. M-U-E-C-K. I'm probably butchering his name.
No,
but yeah, that's the one that does all the wax figures, and you go into the room,
cool.
and you see this giant dude on he's nude. Everything's really anatomical, which is kind of creepy.
Hello.
But he's on a chair, like scared to death, and it actually looks fucking real. It's unreal.
We have a permanent cause statue.
And it's
Yeah.
It's massive.
I went there twice since they installed that, and I never noticed it because you got to go you got to go around the back, either up the staircase or kind of find the secret hidden hall. But like it's so legit, and it's just we're both big Cause fans.
We're lucky to have that piece here.
Oh yeah,
absolutely are. I mean, I was there whenever they put the first time they put it up there. Because I followed him before that, and it said like the Fort Worth Modern, whatever the fuck, and I was like, at the shop, I'm like, I gotta fucking go,
man. I didn't really know much about Cause until we went and seeing like his early stuff, like when he was defacing like posters and things like that.
Yeah, the street.
So like, and there was a lady there that worked at the museum, and she was kind of giving like I guess a little tour and like answering some questions and whatnot, and she was talking about how he got a key made. Someone handed him a key, and he got a key, and he got it made, and he was able to unlock all these things and just go in there and deface them and put them back up.
Because he had the key made.
Yeah, because he had the key made.
Right. So what was it? New York? Was it New York?
New York.
Well, I do know that his primary art was Disney. At first, it was just a bunch of Disney stuff he was like doing his art with, like his street art.
But he would take like the posters out of these plastic, what would you call that? Like a lockbox, right?
Yeah.
He would need the key for. He would deface it or take it or do what he needed to. He would put arms around a girl or whatever and make it look cartoonish, and then he'd lock it back up like nothing ever happened.
Dude,
right? It wasn't like normal graffiti street art. It was like, oh, what's that? What's that about?
How the people that saw that and were like, this is pretty badass, I'm going to keep it. Imagine having a piece of art like that. How much is that worth?
Insane.
It's ridiculous. It's got to be in a gallery. It's kind of like a Banksy.
Yeah. So that's what I was about to say. Like, Banksy was known for, or is known for, like his very like, I guess meaningful, kind of controversial like images that he would paint. Right,
dude. His COVID street art. I
haven't
in London,
seen any of that yet.
Holy shit! You got to look at. He dressed in the full hazmat. Had one guy filming him in a hazmat suit with like a little. He made it look like it was like decontaminating shit.
Yeah,
spray painted mice like rats and stuff, and then like a little shot making it look like they sneezed or.
Oh wow!
It's pretty. You look it up. I suggest everybody look it up. It's pretty profound.
That's going on the whole traveling thing. Like, I really want to go and like try to track down like a lot of his stuff that he's got out.
It's really hard because now people will try to cut it out and try to sell it. And I think I'm not sure. I heard that he goes and buys it himself.
He probably does.
At this point, I'm sure that he can and does.
Well, so he's got some art in the West Bank.
Yeah.
Dude, super dangerous down there. Like it's sketched to try to do that kind of stuff, and this guy's ballsy enough to do it. And I would love to try to get down to the West Bank and see some of that stuff.
Jesus is kind of close.
Did we see something? We did see Banksy when we were in Europe that first time, didn't we? Like 6 or 7 years ago. I feel like we
Leslie
did.
took us somewhere.
We saw she was really big into the street art, and she took us to. She's going to listen to this and go like, "No, I didn't." But there's a few things like the one with the little. Video game tile things.
I don't even remember.
And there were so many cool things.
I don't think it was over there by her where she lived.
Yeah, but also when we were in London.
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so
everything over there is pretty cool. The street art's pretty sick.
Yeah, agreed.
I enjoy it.
But that brings us to like a good point.
Does
it does.
Does it bring us to a good point?
It does. So and here it is. So you just got back from Montana, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
they didn't have street art there.
No,
is that what you're asking?
No, but traveling to see some of this stuff, right?
Okay, yeah.
Traveling in uncertain times, and it's all scary because we don't know what's happening, and everybody's going to die because of COVID, right?
Yeah.
But you took the risk. You got on a plane. How did that all go?
It was a risk, right? And I would highly. I'm not going to recommend travel for anyone that doesn't feel comfortable. I'm not going to recommend travel at all, right? Generally, I'm going to try to go somewhere once a month at least. We travel quite a bit. I've only been on a plane like a couple times this year.
Yeah.
And I know like people are way worse and definitely don't want to do this kind of stuff, but they are really clean. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. The bathrooms, you can wash your hands. You have to wear a mask the entire time. As soon as you get in the airport to when you leave your destination, it's going to be just like going to a restaurant, to be honest with you. We were lucky enough. I did fly to Denver in June, and we flew Southwest Airlines, and they took the entire middle row on both sides. No one was sitting there, which was awesome. Because first off, you got more room. Like that already is amazing. But like you're being able to distance on the plane. We went to Missoula is a very small airport. We literally we went down the staircase off the plane onto the tarmac and then into the airport, got our rental and our luggage within 10 or 15 minutes, and we were already at the local brewery. It's crazy, but the small plane that we took only had 2 seats on each side, and so that was nice too because we weren't sitting next to anybody. It was just Tab and I. I brought you boys some bevs from Montana, so go ahead and talk, and I'm going to get these out.
Yeah, so I think we talked about this before. I would be willing to pay a little bit extra just to fly and not have to deal with, I guess, having a ton of people on the plane or having to deal with that added stress, because I find traveling, going to the airports and stuff like that, that's my stressor, is going with all the crowds and everything and having to deal with all that. But then getting on the plane, like you're stuck waiting to get off the plane. You got a ton of people on there, and I just feel like paying a little bit extra money, and not having to deal with that is actually worth it. And I'm hoping that the airlines will kind of take this now, because unfortunately, nothing's going to be quite the same as it once was. So maybe this will be a time to where it's not necessarily like making profit, and more of let's make sure our people are safe and comfortable.
Right.
Because I feel like I remember as a kid flying, it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now. And now it just feels like, especially on some of these discount flights like Spirit.
It's like a sardine can.
Yeah. And I even heard and I saw like they had plans for like, how can we stand people up in aircrafts?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just absolutely insane.
So stop us real quick.
Yeah.
So brought this hazy pale ale. It's called Guts and Grit from Sacred Waters. When we were in Montana, we stayed real close to, we were on Flathead Lake, basically like right on the lake. and there was this really cool bar. It was a restaurant bar, and it was called The Raven. And so we went in to get a drink and sat outside on the patio. And I had this beer. And I was like, damn, it's a really good hazy IPA. And the guy's like, oh, yeah, it's only like 30 minutes away. So on the way back from Glacier the next day, we stopped. And so let me see what you think.
It says here, craft beer from Whitefish, Montana. Whitefish, Montana, is that where it's from?
Oh, I got sprayed in the face again.
Ha ha! I told you not the first, not the last, bitch.
You said the exact same thing.
Go back to episode 14. You will hear me say, not the first, not the last.
So, there's 3 towns in that area. You got Kalispell, Missoula, and Whitefish, and that's it. I mean, like, then you got the Glacier National Park, and then you got Flathead Lake, which looks like an ocean. That is a ginormous lake. Yeah. It was so cool.
The pictures are awesome, and definitely, we're gonna throw some of those up on our Instagram, maybe our Instagram story. Just for y'all to check that out.
It's a nice light smelling IPA.
Oh yeah, let's take a sipsy poo. You don't have to do your whole like. Yeah.
Okay. So,
actually, I'm looking at it. This isn't an IPA. It's just a pale ale, but it's hazy pale ale.
So pale ales kind of fall in that IPA.
Yeah, same thing, pretty much.
Just maybe not as hoppy. But my whole thing is I prefer a little bit sweeter, I guess, taste over the bitter. And I think pale ale is my go-to if I'm going to go for something bitter. And this is really good, smooth.
Yeah, I like the hop flavor, but not like the puckery bitterness that you talk about. So I'm kind of in the same boat. But yeah, this one hits it right on the head. It's pretty good.
But I'm still going to say it, hazy IPAs are not real IPA.
I will say that, this is the second time I've flown with all of this. Flew for New Year's. That was, obviously early January. Flew to North Carolina at the end of January with Jesus and Crystal and Tab. And then we were going to go to Denver in March, but of course all this stuff was hit. And so we pushed it out as far as we could. And we went to Big Bend instead. So, a lot of the places we've been, like when we went, North Carolina was New Year's. At the end of January, sorry, I messed up. At the end of January, we went to Joshua Tree. So like a lot of the places I've been were like national parks. So Joshua Tree, Big Bend, Glacier, and Rocky Mountain National Park, which I think that's a pretty decent way to travel during these times because you're going to get there. Generally, it's going to be a small town. You're going to be hiking or fishing or out in the middle of nowhere, just kind of enjoying your time away. So when you talk about staycation, I enjoyed it. I kind of stayed and chilled, but
just in a different place.
Yeah. Just with a better view.
Yeah, much better view. I mean, as much as I love Fort Worth, you can't get much better than sitting there, Flathead Lake, looking at the mountains, looking at the water.
It was insane.
Same thing with going to like Denver and just being surrounded by the Rockies. I mean, it's perfect. Like, I can't imagine like not being able to do that. And more power to you. I'm proud of you.
No. I'm proud. Some of the things that I notice even more so now because of COVID is like I already get pretty pissed off when people don't have like flying etiquette. Like certain things that you should and shouldn't do. Like one, go ahead.
Don't paint your nails on a plane because I experienced that.
Or don't trim your nails on a plane.
That too. Yeah.
Like those are pretty much one-offs that should be obvious, but there's some that are just specific to airplanes. Like I don't think that you should lean back in your seat personally, because we just talked about how these planes are sardine cans and like more and more so you don't have room to lean back. Like I'm not a tall guy. My knees were touching the chair in front of me. If they leaned back, it would have been like right on top of me.
Yeah. I choose not to and I am a tall guy, so I choose not to lean back though. That's funny you say that. So they got a device that you can put into the seat in front of you that keeps him from leaning back. And
really?
Yeah. And this happened a while back, but it sparked a fight between some people on the plane because one person's like, I paid for this seat, I should be able to lean back, and the other person's like, haha, fuck you.
Well, I paid for this space, and
and you're invading my space.
I think it's one thing if you are like going to talk to the person behind you, like, what do you do in a car? If I was gonna move my seat backward and I'm in the front seat and you're in the back, what am I going to do? Hey, do you mind if I move my seat back? Like, just be kind.
Well, dude, in a car, like when we drove the New Braunfels, we took my truck, and I had my seat. I wasn't uncomfortable, but I normally have it pushed back pretty far. I had it scooted up just to give some room. It's being courteous. So the whole thing comes down with travel etiquette is just be fucking nice. Like, we're all in the same boat right now. It sucks. Like,
We're all in this together.
Exactly.
There he is. That's
it.
Input. Another one of the things, though, was like getting off the plane. Like when you get off the plane, and they said it when we first got to Missoula, so I'm glad they did. It's like go in the first rows first, right? Like go in order in which your rows are. Don't just like stand in the middle or try to rush to the front. Like when we got back to DFW, there was like an old lady like using a walker, and this guy who's huge, tall guy, he's just like elbowing people to get to the front. And what's funny, what really pissed me off was, first off, this guy was trying to rush to the front, almost knocked this lady over. His girlfriend's still in the back, like he's leaving her behind. So I'm like, well, maybe they got into a fight and he just really needs to leave. And so, the rest of us go in single file, like the row in front of us go, and then we go, and the row behind us, like it's supposed to be, right? And then we are heading to our luggage to pick up our luggage. The dude's buying a soda. Like he was ready to knock that woman on her ass to get himself a nice ice cold
Coca-Cola. There's nothing better in the morning. I'm telling you. Chad, it's a good way to start it.
Chad, I do got to ask, whenever the plane landed, did everyone clap?
No.
Did you clap? Did you clap?
Yes.
I've never understood that. I was flying back from Florida. This was actually one of the first trips that Jesse and I took. Actually, it was the first trip that we took. And I'll tell you what, that was one of the scariest flights. And I didn't tell her this. Like, she hasn't really flown that much. I've flown quite a bit. We got off the plane, and after everything was said and done, I was actually terrified of that flight because I thought we were going to fucking crash, because storm's coming through, and our pilot decided he wanted to punch through it, thinking that he could beat through it, and that did not.
Well,
really
he's
work.
the professional. You're not.
Yeah, she probably fought him like man.
He might have, man. It felt like we were in a fighter jet, just bouncing around and taking dives and dips and everything, dodging and wrenches and whatnot.
If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
But it really was. It was one of the scariest flights, and I was just ready to get off the plane, and dude, all costs, I wanted off that fucking plane, but I didn't elbow any old ladies, and I didn't leave Jesse behind. So
I don't get how people can be that.
You know what's another no-no, though? Another thing that really grinds my gears.
Mile High Club?
Is when you are standing around the carousel to get your luggage, and people are right up on it, like they're going to get their luggage first, but you don't know when your luggage is going to come out.
Yeah, man.
And now you're preventing me from stepping up and getting mine because it's crowded. There needs to be a good 4 or 5 foot space between you and the carousel to say, hey, when I see my luggage, I'm going to go grab it. There's no reason for you to be
it's like the Thunderdome there,
dude.
Everybody elbows and shit going on. Yeah,
just be nice. Man,
I think that's what it all comes down to. We could solve this whole flying and plane etiquette by if you just be nice.
Dude, you're not going to go any faster just by getting your luggage.
You don't know.
And they're not necessarily getting any faster, because a lot of times they're going to be the last ones to get their luggage, and they're just standing there.
It's like the asshole that came flying up past you in his car, cut you off and everything just to sit at the red light that y'all got to at the same fucking time.
And you're just staring at each other.
You're a real douche there.
Motherfucker. All right.
Javier's like, that's me though. That's
No.
So, man,
God. I will kill a bitch.
You really know how to bring the mood down.
I won't. I'm a coward.
Talking about when to what I call when to vacate versus staycate. My whole choice with staycation was just out of number one, I didn't plan anything because I'm a poor planner. But number two is just nice. And I think that, if you're having a hard time at work or whatever, especially during these times, and you can afford to take the time off, man, take the time off, just sit at home, work on some projects or whatever. It's good for the soul just to stop and decompress. But not everybody is like that. And some people want to actually go. And I think what we're trying to convey is more of do so in a safe manner, take the necessary precautions. There's risk with everything we do. Just going to fucking stores at home is going to be is just as dangerous. So, just something to.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Yeah. So, Chad, what were some of your favorite things about Montana?
Man, I'm so glad you asked.
I know. I just hogged all this.
He's like, I've been waiting for this entire time to talk about Montana.
I've just been waiting for you to ask, really.
Please. Please tell us.
So you mentioned it was my birthday about a week ago.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Appreciate that. And so, we were trying to decide on what to do. Originally, and I've already mentioned on the podcast, sorry for being repetitive, but we planned Hawaii thinking that we'd still be able to go. Unfortunately, they still had a 14-day quarantine at the time, and so we had to cancel our trip.
Even with like a test with results, or
yeah, so they had changed it to be like from a 14-day quarantine to if you get tested and you get your results within 3 days of your flight, then you're good to go. But that didn't start until September 1st, and even then, I mean, like we had already booked everything, so we might as well cancel if we're going to have to move and everything. But they've already pushed back a couple of things, so I'm just thinking that Hawaii is just kind of like flowing with the wind and trying to make sure that their people are safe, which they should. But I just didn't want to risk it because it wasn't expensive to go to Hawaii. That's why we booked it. But still, I didn't want to lose that money.
Right.
But so we decided on Montana just because we went before, right?
Yep, Billings. We drove through Billings. And
yeah, and we went on a whitewater rafting excursion.
We did.
Into Yellowstone.
That water was really cold.
Dude, it was cold.
That was, I would say, almost as cold or just as cold as the Colorado River or Lake Austin.
I don't know. Like, we went to Lake Austin, and I could not bear that water.
Really?
I remember Roy and I jumped into the water in Yellowstone. Like, it was nobody's like, oh, cool, let's just jump in.
Dude, I don't know.
Off the raft.
Was that colder? Like Lake Austin was colder whenever we went over there?
Lake Austin was, I don't know why it's so frigid. Well, even, in Montana, I was doing some fly fishing in the rivers and stuff. And
Hey, what'd you catch?
Definitely not my dignity.
I love that sound bit. It just fits, man.
Oh, fuck, I was waiting for you to say that.
Stupid
I was fucking waiting. This motherfucker's going to talk about fly fishing. I know it. I'm waiting.
Tab got me a fly fishing rod, and Micah taught me how to do a little bit of fly fishing, and I did catch.
Obviously, he didn't teach you good enough.
Well, no,
I did catch a bass
while you
I
were
caught
here.
something
Yeah,
yeah.
Not there.
But the thing is like I didn't know where to fish, and in Glacier National Park, as beautiful, it's a new experience. You know what I mean? As beautiful as that park is, we did some hiking, we did some driving. We saw a grizzly bear, which is pretty cool.
Y'all were pretty close to that grizzly bear.
It was funny.
Seriously?
Yeah, we had just got done with our hike, and we were leaving the parking lot, and we're behind this truck, and he takes off, and then he like hard stops, and we're like, what the hell? And I'm getting pissed off because we almost got into an accident. And he like starts pointing, and I kind of pull around the truck and look, and like the bear, this big ass bear, is crossing right in front of him on the road. And that bear was leaving where we just like wrapped up our hike. So I don't know where he was, but he was close to us. And so I was able to snap a picture real quick. But we were within like 10 feet of this thing. He was a big boy.
He was like,
I'll tell you. So the Funky Panther, the Funky Panther does not recommend getting out of your car whenever you're around wildlife. Do not approach wildlife. Please take pictures at a safe distance.
the Funky Panther does not recommend it, but Javier does. Javier says, Chad, if you want to go up to a grizzly bear and like take pictures of its eyes or something, do it.
Well, I've been around Jesus, and it's basically the same
Ooh,
thing.
he's a bear.
Let's see. You've rode a turtle. Or tortoise, a tortoise, I mean. And
good
didn't
Lord.
you touch an alligator or get real close to one? And
Yeah, Danny and I were in the
Yeah.
Everglades one time, and they were just like everywhere. Like I couldn't believe that there were just alligators out, like not in cages, just everywhere. And so we grabbed one of the tails just to see what would happen.
You're ridiculous.
It was all right. We were fine.
God.
I still
Yeah.
have all of my.
again, the
fingers
Funky
and
Panther
hands.
podcast does not recommend doing any of these things. Please take your life into your own hands and don't blame us.
But I didn't know where to fish in Montana, and apparently in the park there's not very good fishing. It's all like down south near Missoula, but we spent the majority of our time in the mountains and with the lakes and the rivers and stuff like that. Y'all saw the pictures. That water
Yeah.
was
Well,
insanely clear.
Still, though, you can't go there and not try to fish.
Exactly. So
You
I
have to
tried.
do it.
I enjoyed myself. In fact, G got me a cigar for my birthday, and so at one point I was smoking about half of that cigar and just fly fishing. Tab was like taking pictures like I was an old man, but I was enjoying it. It was super relaxing.
What did we talk about before about bucket lists? Oh, this is what I listened to, episode 2. Bucket lists are not meant to use when you're old. You're supposed to do it when you're young while
Hell
you're
yeah.
still viable to do it.
Dude, knee deep in the frigid, or not even frigid, but like cold-ish waters of the river, like geese flying over you and honking, and you're smoking a cigar, and dude, it was awesome. It was just a cool experience.
I'm glad you had a great time, man.
I appreciate it. If you haven't been to Glacier, like I'm already planning going back next September because it was that beautiful.
Really?
And on the day, I took a bunch of pictures. On that day, the first day that I took the majority of them, there was a lot of smoke in the park. I guess it had kind of come over from like the fires in California and stuff, so it was pretty smoggy, which it made for a couple of good pictures, but like it was not nearly as clear as that following day. I mean, you could see for miles. It was really cool.
Well, you know, our experience that we had over in that area was going to Yellowstone, and you know, we didn't. I kind of wish we had maybe stopped in Glacier if we had had an opportunity while we were in Montana. I think that'd been kind of cool.
Yeah, it would have. It's a lot further away from Billings,
right?
Than Yellowstone was, but yeah.
But going to Yellowstone, you know, there was a lot of overcast when we were there. I remember it rained, but still.
We camped in those $20. Like we went to a gas station and bought tents because like we couldn't find a hotel, and we really wanted to stay in the park. And so we found this last minute. I guess someone had canceled their stay, and so we got night of a camping spot, and we went and bought these $20 shitty tents at the gas station. And it was like 32 degrees.
So what was it? It was in June or July? I can't remember.
July.
Okay, July. So we're Texans thinking July. It's hot.
Yeah.
And we think everywhere else is hot in July. It was warm-ish during the day, but kind of cool, dreary, but not really that warm. And then at night, 32 degrees. It rained. It leaked in y'all's tent.
Yeah, these tents were leaking like crazy. I woke up in just like an inch of rainwater.
But it's one of those deals like I would not trade that for the world. That was a cool, like it makes for a cool ass story.
Yeah.
But going back on Yellowstone, like number one, I knew Yellowstone was a big deal, but I didn't expect to have the tourists from all over the world at Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And so that kind of took me by surprise, like busloads of tourists there. I was like, man, why are y'all coming to the States to see? I mean, Yellowstone, and then we actually saw like the Grand Prismatic, spring or whatever, and I'm like, all right,
Faithful and all that stuff.
Like this makes sense. I get it.
You remember how busy Yellowstone was?
Yeah,
it wasn't nearly as busy as Glacier was this past weekend.
Really,
it was so crazy. Like they have cut off half the park because of COVID. They're just trying to like reduce the amount of flow through the park, which I guess makes sense. But they're not taking reservations. When we went to Rocky Mountain National Park in June, they took reservations, so you kind of have a time slot. You go at a certain time, and it's not like crazy busy. But in Glacier, there wasn't. And so people are like lined up, just going straight into the park. The first hike is like one of the most popular hikes. It's like the Avalanche Lake hike. And there were people parked in the first 3 or 4 parking lots and walking 2 miles just to start that hike. That's how busy it was.
So you cut off half the park, and really you just end up concentrating.
Exactly. It was crazy. I mean, we had a good experience, but there was more that we wanted to do that we couldn't because it was that packed.
So would you say if any like park authority people are listening,
just do reservations.
They should probably do something a little bit different. Maybe open up the whole park, take reservations. Let's cut down the amount of flow going through there. Yeah,
I know it's busy, and it's right before school starts, and so people are trying to get their trips in, and that's why I want to try to go next September. It's where we still got to get this weather, but it's after school starts, and so hopefully not quite as busy. But yeah, I would definitely recommend like going to a national park or even a state park or doing something outside if you are going to travel, because except for that bit that you might be in an airport or on a road trip or being around people a little bit, at least you can go enjoy some new scenery and just be out and about without having to worry about it quite as much.
And Google dark sky parks. Like, you do not know how close you are. Dark sky parks, man, that's it. Like, you get one look at the Milky Way, you're going to want to like do shit.
That was your whole reason to go out to Terralingua and all that stuff. One of your big reasons.
Luckily, it was like what's that fucking moon phase where there's no moon? It's like a new moon.
New moon, yeah.
Dude, pitch black.
Because you even mentioned that where your family's from in Mexico.
Yeah, and my dad's family in Zacatecas, there's really no light pollution at all because it's a small little town. And you look up and you see everything.
Yeah, I remember my first experience of that summer camp outside of Austin. I used to go every year, And I remember as a kid looking up at the stars, but as I got older, actually like no lights up there. You look up and on a clear night and you can see like you're saying, you can see like the galaxy edge. And I mean, it's so cool.
I think we're only like 1 or 2 hours from one dark sky park. Where's Palo Pinto?
Oh, Palo Pinto. Yeah, it's west.
It's a little bit
yeah.
more than 2 hours. It's about 5 hours.
No, Palo Pinto's not. Palo Pinto's close. Yeah, Palo Pinto.
I'm thinking Paladuro. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you're thinking Paladuro.
Paloduro's one,
Yeah,
I think.
because they're
I gotta look it
dark.
up.
Because I went to Cap Rock and that's 4 hours away, and that was crazy.
Yeah. So
Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Palo Pinto is like due west to northwest from us. Yeah.
Shit. In a couple of years, we have that eclipse coming through. That's the full eclipse. The next one's going to be like in our direction.
Oh yeah.
But like the one's going to be in the southeast of us.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's like you can't beat that. We're so close.
Yeah, we got to
we
pre-plan
gotta.
that.
We got to. It's a thing we got to do for a week. We're probably going to have to do something for like that entire week, and like reserve a spot because I want to see that whole thing. I want to be in the pitch black.
So I'm curious, like what does it for you? Like what is it about it that like you? Because I mean I enjoy it myself, but like where you are, the faces you're making is just
infinity, man.
Yeah,
infinity. Like
does it not like freak you out though?
No,
And,
I mean
and beyond.
So all right, you and Chad went on a cruise.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we ever go out? I think we went to the back of the boat with your parents.
Yeah.
And we had that bottle of champagne.
But you go on the back of the boat or whatever, and there's no lights.
There's no light, but there's like 100 teenagers making out back there.
That was weird.
I think they're going to like
pretty.
second base. You can just wait, and we didn't know, and we turn around. We're like, holy fuck! There's a bunch of like preteens over here making out.
We went all the way to the back of the boat and just looked back.
Yeah.
And we were like
Yeah.
noticing how pretty it was,
Yeah.
and it was just dark.
But you don't see. I mean, it's just
You
like
hear
this.
you hear smacking noises. We're like,
behind
what
me?
the fuck is that? And we were playing like gangster rap, and we were like, hey, fuck to this motherfucker! Like, your parents are really irresponsible for letting you come over here.
Oh yeah. Well, we were with my parents, so how irresponsible are they?
I was that one night whenever we went scuba or we went snorkeling, and I freaked out because the boat wasn't there, and I met that girl over there, and I was supposed to meet her that night.
Yeah, yeah.
And like my shoulder, I was like, my shoulders hurt, I can't go out, and I had to stay in.
Such a baby
Such
boy.
an idiot. I was like, where's that girl? And she was already with another guy. So I
Yeah.
was like,
You wasted that moment.
Like that's probably one of my biggest like experiences with like dark like that is this. Well, I mean, I've been in some like caves and stuff, but like being outside and like on the ocean and you hear the water, but you can't see shit. Like it's just you look out and it's nothing but just darkness, and that's it.
you can't beat that though. It's just so
but it's
calm and
kind of scary, you know.
Is it
like,
really?
Yeah, I mean, like you're alone. It's like you're all by yourself. Imagine, like, there's people who get like freaked out about being like thinking about outer space.
Yeah.
And I think I'd be on like maybe on the cusp of like either being like completely scared shitless, but also like enjoying the shit out of it.
I love it. Whenever I did some scuba diving down in Tulum, we did the Dos Ojos Cenotes. And so you go down about 40 feet and you're in these caves. Like you're scuba diving in these caves about 40 feet underground. And all you have is your flashlight. And so we were with a guide, and he rode on his little board. He's like, everyone turn off their lights. And like, it's insane because you're already floating. Like you're buoyant. You're just right there in your scuba gear, and you turn off the lights and you don't see a single thing. Like it was pitch black. I mean, I enjoyed it. I could definitely see someone freaking out though. Like it was kind of a weird situation.
So it's like those that's almost like that like those float spas.
Yeah. What do they call those?
The zero.
Where it's like
There's one over here.
yeah, you're completely like neutral buoyant.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of sound and like just deprivation chamber.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
I've always wanted to try that. And so scuba diving like that, it's kind of cool, but you have that constant noise of you breathing and all that stuff because you're underwater. But like this, like you put in some earplugs and you're pitch black and you just lay there still, and the water's supposed to be like the same temperature as you. And so you can't even tell that you're really floating. That'd be worth checking out.
When we took an Alaska cruise, that was my last of my 50 states before I turned 30. I want to make sure that I hit all 50 states. And so the last state was Alaska. We went on this Alaskan cruise, and I remember my whole thing was like, I really wanted to see the Aurora Borealis. That was on my bucket list. And I just assumed we're in Alaska. It's at the end of the summer. And we planned that trip to be the end of the summer because that's when you have more of a chance to see it. every night I'd get up super early or in the middle of the night and go and try to see it. And of course, you got to be somewhere dark to see it. And I never saw it. I was getting really agitated or let down, really. I really wanted to see it. And so one of the last nights, Tab and I were like, whatever, I'm not going to go to bed or anything. We went to a club at the back of the boat and just had a great time drinking and dancing. And then it was getting like really hot in the club. So we went to it was already in the back of the boat. So we walked down to the back of the boat. And then we hear this guy, he just starts like yelling like, yeah, woo. And we're like, what the hell is going on with this guy? So we walked down because I was hoping that it was the Aurora Borealis because we couldn't see it because there's too many lights where we were. And we walked down by him and like, sure enough, you see like the sky start turning green, and, like the waves of it. Now it's not like you would see in some of the pictures where it's in Iceland or something like that, like further north, but we definitely saw like waves and waves and waves. And, called my mom's room. It was like 2:00 in the morning and they come down and we're just sitting there for like 30 minutes in this darkness in between Alaska and Canada, some spot in this bay. And we're watching the sky and the waves.
That's pretty cool.
Man, that was legit.
Yeah. I'm not saying like that's not on my bucket list. I mean, it'd be cool to see it, but it's definitely not like something like I would plan a trip just to see, nor would I plan a trip to see a eclipse and go to Kansas. But you did that.
Yeah.
And actually several of our friends did that. And I mean, it's cool. Like I would love to have seen it, but I wouldn't have planned a trip to do it.
I'm surprised Javier didn't go with all his like sky and eclipse and all that kind of stuff. I mean, why didn't you go, Javier?
To what? Sorry.
Oh,
yeah.
You're not paying attention because you're on your phone while we're trying to podcast? This is for the people, man. The people want to hear you and your stupid mouth.
Oh, yeah. Now you're ready to admit my greatness, right? Okay. Ha! Joke's on you. I was faking it. I'm texting nobody. I'm just looking at pictures of myself. Fuck you. Big dick out of here. I'm out. Get out of my house, bitch.
Wow.
But on a realness though, like, so go up to Kansas to see the total eclipse of my heart.
Yeah, a few years ago.
This last one, whenever y'all went?
Yeah, we went to Kansas City. I think it was Danny, Chase,
it was
Tab,
work.
and I.
It was work. I couldn't go. That's the only. And honestly, like any excuse is it's only because of work. That's it,
bro.
Like and this is where I'm having my problem. This is my biggest issue because if it were up to me, every other weekend or like at least 2 weekends a month, I would be going to.
I'm sorry, I was making a lot of noise.
You son of a bitch! I was getting really deep.
Okay.
Ooh, go deeper, baby.
Stop.
No,
what are we talking about?
No. I'd be going somewhere every week. I want to go to Colorado like every other weekend or like once every month, but now my dad's over there for work, and I can't just say, "Hey, I'm going to Colorado," because if I say, "Hey, I'm going to Colorado," hey, come over here and look at these cars and blah blah blah, I can't do that. Like, it's not going to be fair to me because man, fuck the Clippers, by the way. Fuck them.
It was a short road trip up to Kansas City, and we were lucky enough to be like right beneath the path of the eclipse. So like it went dark, like y'all completely black.
Y'all made it a reason to go over there. Y'all made it
right.
I mean, that's why.
It was awesome. When we stopped at Tulsa and Oklahoma City on the way, it was just like a quick weekend trip. But I mean, that's something else that, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, if you don't feel like comfortable flying, there's so many places you can drive to within just 3 or 4 hours of Fort Worth, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so you brought up Jalapeno. If you head out that way, we've got Possum Kingdom Lake. Possum Kingdom Lake is out that direction. That's only a few hours away. Fort Worth, we have the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge.
I still have never been.
So it used to be free. Now it is, I think it's like $10 a person or $10 a car. I'd have to go back and check that. But they had to raise it because people, being people, decided to have birthday parties there and not clean up after themselves. So it's, it is what it is. So now it's not a free place to go, which is cool. They have, we have alligators there. If you didn't know that, we have fucking alligators.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they've got alligators.
Says who?
We've got alligators here. Houston, 4 hours from DFW.
Yeah, Galveston's right there too.
Galveston's not that far away.
They have dolphins.
They do have dolphins, man. I've seen dolphins.
We saw dolphins on the cruise.
Yeah,
we did.
But you go to Galveston. I mean, there's tons of places. I mean, if you want to go to Oklahoma, which I don't know why most people would, except for going up to Broken Bow.
Oklahoma's the worst.
Broken Bow is worth going to because it makes you feel like you're in Colorado, kind of. Like it's
I didn't realize there was fly fishing there. Like that's probably the closest place I can go fly fishing. They've got trout up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they also stock, that's the other thing is that they, once a year they stock the Trinity River trout. So
yeah, but that happened right when all this was hitting. So they like canceled the Fly Fest, and it was not nearly as a big of a to do as I was wanting.
Was that the one you were trying to do that before?
Yeah, we were going to do Fly Fest, and so, but I mean, you really don't have to worry about flying if you don't want to. There's lots of stuff that you can do, close by, in town. You can drive a few hours away, and
you just get on Google, or you can go on Yelp, and they'll give you good recommendations on where to go.
Shoot, I'll give you some recommendations. Hit me up. Here in Texas, there's so many cool things you can do that a lot of people don't know about.
Hey, Chet, how do people find out where they can go whenever they're on vacation?
That's what I was going to say. I was going to ask the same thing.
There's two ways. They can follow me on Go Chad Go, or they can go to thetravelingo.com.
Hey, play that nice little spot we got there.
The Funky Panther Podcast, brought to you by thetravelingo.com. Nothing beats the life experience of going to a new place, meeting new people, and submersing yourself in a new culture. Whether you need help speaking the Travel Lingo or just need a push to go, thetravelingo.com can help you with that. The Travel Lingo. Now you're speaking my language.
And we're back, and go ahead and check out their interactive map of spots around the country to go check out.
I really need to make a new bumper. Like we're just going to overplay that one, so I need to do a new
but I love it so much. You did such a great job.
Yeah, you really actually kind of blew me away. The
really
first
good.
I'm like, this motherfucker knows how to make spots.
This is a real commercial.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language.
My inspiration was I was thinking about The Price is Right. Like seriously, whenever they're
talking about long, skinny microphones.
Yeah, but I was thinking about whenever they're talking about the product or whatever, and I'm put some music behind there, try to do a little Price is Right,
Dude, it's
voice.
Great.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
It's a testament of time.
We'll make another one.
I did update the map with all the spots that we went to in Montana, so you can check that out.
International travel. How long do you think it's going to be before you start doing that again,
bro?
Yeah,
we were so close to Canada. I wish that we could have just driven the extra hour and gone up and just kind of been there, because the Glacier National Park actually extends into Canada, but we couldn't. But I don't know. To answer your question, I have no earthly idea.
I mean, right now, there's no restriction right now to go over there to Canada.
Dude,
to Canada there is. Yeah.
You got to quarantine for 2 weeks.
I don't think you can go at all.
Yeah, I know most places have it shut down for us Americans because we were stupid about
people
how
were flying to Mexico, no problem though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was just last week or the week before. There was 3 or 4 people on my Instagram that were in Mexico.
Yeah, Segurio went to Mexico last.
She wasn't on their vacationing. Which
no,
I'm not
her,
trying to shame because
no.
Apparently,
her sister gave birth, and so it's family reason, of course. But
people are at the beach.
No, people at the beach, man.
Why not?
Go to the beach.
No. I say, look, dude, to each their own now. At this point, if you're going to do it, do it. If you're not,
survival of the fittest.
Just be careful and safe, and be considerate of those people that you're around when you get back.
I'm not here to judge anybody. Live your life.
Apparently, the resorts are doing quite a bit to ensure people are safe and stuff.
I would hope
which
so.
Is cool. And I also
God.
saw someone had posted, and there was a picture, and they were the only people on the beach. I'm like, how legit?
Perfect. Where's my picture at? Give me 2 pictures. I want a picture. Double fist pictures.
Yeah,
man, good stuff though. No, the first I think international place I'm going to go, God willing, I don't. If you can't go to Canada if you have a DUI.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Natasha,
at least for a long time, I think.
Natasha was telling me, she's like, we got to go to Canada. Anthony can't go with me because he's a felon. And I was like, what the fuck is she talking about?
Anthony's a bad person.
Anthony murdered an orphanage.
Oh
no, I'm kidding.
No.
He never listens to this podcast. And I'm like, you son of a bitch. You're my best friend. You need to fucking listen to this shit.
He doesn't care.
And I was like, I'm going to talk shit about you on it.
Yeah, you didn't last time, though. It's like you kept yourself from saying something.
No,
we won't get
Fuck you, Anthony. No, I'm kidding. Hey, no, are we done? I was still talking about Banff. Oh, Banff. That's where I want to go.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. So, hey, this was the Funky Panther. Follow us on social media. We are at the Funky Panther on Instagram. Also Facebook. At the Funky Panther on Facebook, Twitter, OnlyFans,
maybe Twitch,
Patreon. Go ahead and support us any way you can. We will greatly appreciate it.
Gonna do some Muck Duck, maybe.
Hopefully, you never know. Heim has a really good one going on right now. So, anyways,
looking forward to our next episode. We're gonna have JOE on, which is really exciting.
Very
Shout out to JOE dropping that new album
coming out that time. So looking forward to it.
Good stuff. So other than that, I am Javier.
I'm Chad.
And I'm Tim.
And we are
The Funky Panther! Stop looking at me.